Hi, this is Toby with Topic Trading. Today we have the 30th of October, Monday, and we are starting out the week with the weekly preview. And looking back at the structure we talked about last week, the larger downtrend, since we start continuing to push down, it might be that I have to change this a bit. So maybe the trend line should be up here. So it matches up with the close of the bodies of this bounce here. And the trend channel line should maybe actually be down here. Because if so, we can see that the gap here that we have between a couple of days and last week fits very well with the trend line. Whoops. Because quite often we can see that these gaps occur where there is a trend line. So this can really be it. And we have the bounce here and here, it matches up, and also a bounce up here as well. And we can see that the midline fits well too. It bounces here, some reactions here, and a bounce here. So this might be the correct structure. And also looking at the smaller trend, if we do a complete trend channel here, which fits pretty well like that. We also had a break of this one and a move to a new low. And we are also so oversold. We even went past the outer band of the envelope bands here, then came back today. So with all this in mind, the break of this bigger structure, the break of the smaller downtrend, and that we are so oversold is really talking for a bounce here and some correction. And it might be that we come back all the way to the midline, the EMA, the midline of the envelope bands, the EMA 21, the deep purple here, because that's usually what we see when we are looking at the envelope bands, when we are in the really outer territories, either if it's oversold or overbought. When we are at the outer bands, we usually come back to the midline, like right here, oversold, came back to the midline, back here, overbought, came back to the midline, oversold, came back to the midline, overbought, came back to the midline. So it might be that we see a bounce now to back to the midline of the envelope bands. And if we would continue to surpass that, we are probably moving to the midline of the larger trend if this trend is correct, and then maybe even all the way back to the trend line of the larger downtrend. Or at least, if we are looking at the distance here that was overshot from the trend channel line, it might be that we come back to around the same distance here from the trend line, but still within the channel. Because that's also something that we see quite often, that the same distance that is overshot can be the same distance that we can come back too short from the trend line. But if the market would turn really bullish, we will probably come back to the trend line and surpass that, and maybe even just turn around and go up from here. But let's see. We just have to wait and see now, as always, and see what happens. But many things are anyway talking for a correction now and a bounce from these oversold areas. Flipping over to the news events for this week. And as you know, the news events are very important to keep in mind, since these can create volatility on the market, especially the red ones here. I have filtered out the red and the orange. Red are potentially high impact, and orange are potentially medium impact news events. And these kind of news events, especially the red ones, can create a lot of volatility on the market, which in turn can create a lot of troubles with your orders, such as slippage, etc. So you really want to keep this in mind and be careful not to trade around them. To be really sure, you should avoid trading half an hour to an hour before to half an hour to an hour after these events. So looking at the week, starting off with Monday, we don't have any news events today to be worried about. Tomorrow, Tuesday at 7:30 in the morning, we have the first red, potentially high impact event. And this is US Central Time, so 7:30, that's 1 hour before open. Then we have the employment cost index quarter to quarter. 30 minutes after that, at 8 a.m., which is 30 minutes before open, we have a potentially medium impact event, S&P CS Composite. which is changing selling price of single family homes. 45 minutes later, which is 15 minutes after open, another orange, potentially medium impact event, the Chicago PMI. And at 9 a.m., which is half an hour after open, another red, potentially high impact event, the CB Consumer Confidence. Wednesday looks pretty crowded, starting off at 7:15 in the morning, which is 1 hour and 15 minutes before open. We have a red, potentially high impact event, the ADP non-farm employment change. At 9 a.m., which is half an hour after open, we have a couple of events, both red and medium impact events. 1 p.m. in the afternoon, even more red, potentially high impact events. And also 1:30 in the afternoon, another potentially high impact event, the FOMC press conference. So very crowded with news events on Wednesday, so please be careful around this day and keep these events in mind. Thursday, same thing in the morning, 7:30, 1 hour before open, we have another red, potentially high impact event, the unemployment claims. And Friday, again, 7:30 in the morning, 1 hour before open, we have several red, potentially high impact news events. And also Friday morning at 9 a.m., 30 minutes after open, another red, potentially high impact news events, the ISM Services PMI. So again, try to please keep all of these news events in mind and be very careful around them. Don't trade half an hour to an hour before to half an hour to an hour after. Just to be sure to not be caught up in any volatility and trouble that can cause you. With that said, I hope you will have a really good week and just wait for those sure things and sure setups. And good trades to you. Take care, everybody. Bye.